We love Robert.
You did a really good job.
Yes. He didn't even pay me to say that. Well, he might have been bananas. I don't know. We have a lot of bananas. Well, this is BlogPaws. This is the power of social. We're the BlogPaws team. How many of you are familiar with BlogPaws? A few of you. Excellent, excellent. So our topic is the power of social. And we have Carol, who is our marketing and PR manager. I shouldn't need to read this because I should know all these things. We have Robbie, who is our senior blog editor and takes care of our blog and a good bit of our content. We have Felissa, and Felissa does programs and events with the ever-popular Chloe. Davida, who is our director of programs and events. And collectively, we're all BlogPaws. BlogPaws is about social media. It's about teaching bloggers to be better at what they do. We founded BlogPaws precisely to help bloggers understand the tools that they were using to monetize
Can
their
you get the screen that I can talk back to people?
To that end, we have the community
How do I talk back?
online, we have the website, and we have a yearly conference. So, as we move right along, the things we're going to be talking about are the tools, strategy, tactics, and the ROI and the ROE. And the ROE would be the return on engagement. That is a key part of being a blogger, is the return on engagement. Each member of the team is going to be speaking to a different aspect of this. So we have social channels that we're going to be covering. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Periscope, your blog, and anything that you want us to cover that we can cover here or afterwards. So this isn't about us, it's about you. We want you to have your questions ready and attack us afterwards if you, well, don't attack us, just come up very nicely and talk to us and we'll answer any other questions that don't get answered today. I'm Yvonne Davida. I am the co-founder of BlogPaws. And right today, I'm just going to be pushing the buttons. And I'm going to let everybody else talk. So we're going to start with Chloe.
For all the latecomers, I'm Chloe Davida with BlogPaws. So my first title was COE, which meant Chief of Everything.
Give that to Chloe. That's what we
Yeah, exactly. Overall, when we talk about social, no matter what business you're in, blogger, retail, association, no matter where you are in the pet space, social is important, and here's why. This was actually from a 2013, and I know Technorati is not the same as it used to be, but it was a really valuable survey that they did. They didn't put the results out until 2014, so it doesn't feel that old when I say 2013. It really isn't that old. That's when they collected the data. This is where the customers are. This is where consumers go to do research, to see what's out there. This is why blogging and having social channels and being powerful on them and understanding the different channels and the different ways to speak to your audiences there are really important. So YouTube is at the top. I will blame my daughter's generation for that because that's all they do. But Facebook, yeah, she is a teenager. Facebook, then there's retail sites, so there's research. There's another study, not here, and I'm forgetting, but it was 80% of people do research online before even stepping foot in any kind of store. And I'm sure that's not a stat anyone in here is that unfamiliar with. But this is where they're going. This is how they're doing that research. It's not just word of mouth. Even myself, when I hear about something, I'm like, ooh, I'm interested in that. I still go do the research. Even that word of mouth, though it leads me into the right direction, I'm still researching what that really means, who else has used it, what are the reviews, everything. So as you can see, blogs is at the top, and the neat thing about blogs is it's towards the top, not at the top, sorry. Who works with their mom? The fact that blogs are go out into all these other facets is really important. So it's not just about who you're speaking to and where you're doing it and whether it's always a blog or not. Some of you as business owners may not have the blog aspect, but I'm pretty sure you probably have a Facebook page or a Twitter account or a YouTube account. You've got some way that you're trying to reach your audience outside of just a website with information.
Excellent, excellent. So we're going to move on now to Carol,
Oh.
who's going to talk to us about Facebook. And
Okay.
you may notice this little activity up here. They're actually periscoping. How many of you know what that means? Yeah, live.
Thanks for the hearts,
video.
everybody.
So don't pick your nose.
Okay, so Facebook, you love it or leave it. I mean, nowadays it's just what it used to be. It's just not, and that's the biggest factor that I found. So hits and misses, absolutely. I could research something in BlogPaws. One of us put something up. We well-researched blog posts. We have our statistics, and crickets when it goes live because you need to mix it up. So I might lead in with something like this. These were two really popular BlogPaws posts that Facebook posts that we had. We had Pet Safety Month at BlogPaws, so I just put up a really cute picture of the dog with a tip. It was shared. What's happening is things are going on Facebook, but they're being shared on other platforms. So don't neglect Facebook because even though it starts there, that's just the beginning of a stream. For 4th of July, I thought you need to do something different. So no matter what you're here for in women in the pet industry, if you own your own business or hopefully you have a blog or maybe you want to blog, in Pet Safety Month, the next day after 4th of July, have you seen all the remnants that might have been lying around? Pets go up to those and try to pick them up. So why not put it? You need to be different. That's what stands out. That's what gets shared. So those numbers, unless you're boosting your ads, and I do recommend that you use Power Editor and or boost a post now and then and do your research. Just don't randomly pay $5 and think it's going to go somewhere. You need to, through Power Editor, you can Google that, you can look that up, you can come to blogpaws.com, put in the search bar, Power Editor, and I'm going to be putting up a blog post that walks you through that. Experiment with audiences. Maybe what works for one type of messaging for you on Facebook isn't going to work for another message. So depending on what your message you want to get across, are you trying to sell something? Are you trying to engage more people? It really depends. So Power Editor, boost a post, and set a budget aside. Those days are gone if you think that, and it's a hard reality. They want you to pay to play, and it's here. But just because it starts on Facebook doesn't mean it has to end there. So that's just kind of. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be expensive. I mean, I've done well on my own. I know even for BlogPaws, $25 on something. The return on investment is there, though. It depends on your goal. And that's just it. In Power Editor, and I don't know if any of you use it, you can set your goal. It's an app for Facebook. You can say, here's who I want to reach. I want to reach my competition. I want all of the fans who follow my competition to see this ad. If they have 1 million followers, you're going to pay more. But maybe you want them to see it for 24 hours. A certain keyword goes in. It really depends on your target audience. And so what works one day, it may not work. Watch when you're putting it up. And you could follow all that on the back end statistics. You can see what did well and when are your customers around. So you need to spend the time and look into the analytics before you invest your dollars. So that's just kind of an overview. Facebook hits and misses, and things like this do work. You want to hold questions for now or at the end?
I say let one go.
Yeah. Hi.
I just wanted to ask if you do the design yourself or you have someone else do it.
We've been doing the design ourselves. Yes, and
Carol does a lot of that.
I do a lot of that. And if you have an iPhone or any, I think it works on Android. WordSwag, if you want to look at that one, is a great free app, and it churns out beautiful images. But yeah, in my mind, I know what I want. But Canva's fantastic. I mean, they have really come a long way. So, all right.
One thing I'll add to Facebook, I know we're all a little frustrated with Facebook and all the rules have changed and all these new algorithms that make it so the people who are supposed to be liking you and following you can't even see what you're doing. So my sister-in-law actually works at Facebook, and this is being recorded, so I won't say your name. But I had a really long discussion with her over a couple glasses of wine, which always makes, the discussion be a little bit more involved. And one thing she was sharing is that the whole reason behind that isn't really Facebook necessarily trying to keep you from getting to your followers. It's that, think about your own Facebook page and how many things you follow. Your Facebook feed cannot deliver you more than like 1,500 pieces of content a day. So if you follow 500 pages and you have 500 friends and each of them are posting twice, you've already maxed your limit. There's no way for you to see every single thing that will be posted there. So that's how they have to come up with these ways to say, okay, well, what are they engaging with? What might they want to see more? Is it right? Does it work all the time? But it's a formula. So you have to teach Facebook what you want to see. If you get things in your feed that you're like, why am I even seeing this? Click on that little corner in the upper right and say, don't show me this stuff again. And you'll notice your feed will start to get more to your liking. You'll start actually seeing the things you want to see. And you actually kind of have to teach your followers how to do that for you. So it means a little bit of, asking for the help, asking for the assistance and the share if you're interested. But that's the only way you're going to affect that algorithm, because literally it changes by person, by day. It's always changing.
And two last points I'll wrap in 30 seconds is watermark your photos. Yes, someone could easily, play around with it and take it away, but I watermark is what I use. It's what PicMonkey lets you do that. You don't have to pay. And second, make sure you're reciprocal. You need to share things. Share people's things on your wall. The first word in social media, people forget it's social. And it just can't be all about what you want to put out there. Share messages as well. Oh, and don't get in touch with me and say, I spent $25 on an ad and totally sucked and I wish I didn't come to your session, because it may not be, you didn't have the right time, the right keywords, the right audience, the demographic. Are you putting it up? Actually, holidays are kind of good because people are with their families and they want to escape. And they go into their phones. So, it really depends. Christmas and whatnot, they're actually good times to post.
Yeah, and I think what she's trying to say is test.
Test.
So do one. If it doesn't work, change it up. Look at how you did it and maybe do it differently next time. And really give it a chance. One time is not necessarily going to be the answer. So within marketing worlds, it's always test, test, test.
And if you're boosting a post, know why you're boosting it. Do you want them to sign up for your newsletter, buy a product, come to your conference? If you're just boosting it just to see if you can get people liking it, it's nice to have people liking, but if there's no ROI, then you've kind of wasted your $5.
You may want more likes, so target for that. You may want people coming to your website, so target for that. And I don't know how many of you know, but on the top of your Facebook cover, most of us now have, I think it rolled out to everybody, there's one of the call to action button.
Yeah.
And there's 6 different things that you can do. Everything from send someone to your shop to, I'm not even sure the other options. And sign up for your email.
Sign up to your website.
There are different options.
Yeah, and see me, I'll show you where it's at if you guys can't find it.
All right.
All right.
Really quick shout out to all of our community. I know that you're all out there hanging out with us. Hey, Randall says, thanks for joining us.
So Twitter.
No, he's on there too.
Twitter.
Twitter. We're talking Twitter now.
Twitter is an interesting place because who can talk in 140 characters and feel effective? Yeah, surprisingly, you really can, and it's an interesting mix of, again, knowing your audience and who you're talking to. Twitter is a place where numbers start to matter and your reach starts to matter, so you may be talking to only 20% of the people who really care what you're saying, and then this other sort of group who's, meandered there and said, sure, I'll follow you, or something like that. So know the purpose of Twitter when you're using tweets and doing things to promote on Twitter. Like they were talking about the message within Facebook, it's the same thing here. So it's sort of that call to action. What are you asking people to do? People like to be told what to do. It just makes it a lot simpler and a lot more clear to make a decision and act on something if you say, retweet if you agree, or favorite this for something, or tell them, what are you looking for? Because that just says, oh, I know how to engage with that. I can retweet, I can favorite, I can reply. It gives somebody the option to say, where maybe they would just pass it by because they're like, well, I don't know. But now you're giving them a way to sort of call out whether they agree or they don't disagree or they think it's cute and they retweet it. So utilize that. And it's simple things. Obviously you're going to do it short. People get hung up on grammar sometimes, especially those of us who are writers. You can shorten things, acronym things, write the letter U for the word you. Sometimes you have to get your point across on Twitter, and it's okay. People expect that there. Don't get too hung up on it. It's better to get in what you can and get your point across than to make sure it looks grammatically correct when you're on Twitter, and Twitter only. Hashtags are great. Don't overdo it with hashtags. Hashtags are a way that people find you and find what you're talking about. So if you're having a really big sale at your store one weekend and your local area needs to know, hashtag Denver. You need to think about the places that you are and the ways that you can find those little communities or those little niches that might follow you and utilize them here. That might mean taking one tweet and sending it 4 different times because you got 4 different audiences you want to see it. There is very rarely something like too much when it comes to Twitter. We've actually had people, we do BlogPaws chats on Tuesday nights, so that we send out a ton of tweets in like 2 hours, many, like hundreds. And somebody not recently was like, I love you guys, but that was a lot of tweets in a short period of time. I'm sorry, come to BlogPaws chat and tweet with us then. But Twitter is a place where you really aren't going to max. It's more about maximizing the value that you can have there. Think about who you're trying to reach. Know that you've got many different audiences on Twitter. It's not just a customer. Maybe it's somebody who just thinks pets are cute and they want to see cute pictures of your dog. But if you're hashtagging cute and you're getting in front of those people enough times, they're going to remember who you are. They're going to maybe click through once or twice to see what you're doing. But you have to vary it up there. You can't just think about, well, I'm talking to this customer and always go with them, because you're going to drown out and lose the rest of the people there that are following you. And you do have the opportunity to get some new eyeballs and some new relationships. So make sure you do that. Always follow, retweet. If you're on Twitter for 5 minutes, you'd be amazed at how many retweets and replies and favorites you can get done in 5 minutes. And that is just a way to engage with the people who are engaging with you and finding new people who you hope will then take that and engage back so that you're building those relationships. Don't ever feel bad about getting off Twitter and then going back 2 days later and there's replies there. You can still reply to people. You can still get back to them. It's not like email where someone's sitting there for 2 days going, oh my God, she hasn't replied yet. It's Twitter. It's live. It's active. It's whenever you get there. People still appreciate it. It's just keeping your name active and your awareness up.
Can you talk about the period in front of the ad?
Sure. So different ways to tweet. The first tweet on there is a tweet we sent, and it starts with some words. So that is actually going to go out, and we're going to get 1 impression per follower we have. So when we're tracking our reach, we'll get 61,000 impressions for that tweet because that's our followers. Shout out, same thing. None of these are a good example. So say that the shout out started with, that was a bad one because I can't say that freaking handle, Herba, Toba, Botanica people, whatever. Ryan Jordan, I do love you.
Hey guys, it's Carol from BlogPaws, and we are having difficulty putting comments up to you. So keep the hearts coming. We are at Women in the Pet Industry, and we are teaching the power of social media. Hi, former. Hey, everybody. So stay tuned. We do see you, but we can't get the comments to work back. Hang in there. We're going to have a full hour of amazing tips here in Portland, Oregon.
A period in front of the handle. So if it said dot, Herba, whatever, with no space, literally dot and then the @ sign, then you're actually getting a reach of all of your followers and all of the followers of the person you're tagging. So now you've amplified your reach, but you want to be careful because make sure what you're tweeting is relevant to that Twitter handle. You don't want to be sort of spamming out there. You know, like I don't recommend doing that for like Kim Kardashian. Her followers don't want to know about the sale you're having this weekend. So just be aware that if you're going to use that angle, that it's got to have a purpose. People will do it in BlogPaws chat, which makes sense because we're all pet people. So that there's really no problem with that there. But especially with brands and other people, you just want to be careful of using that because you are then basically utilizing their following to get your message out. But it can't come in handy.
Wheel lark, you tap the screen to send hearts. Keep tapping your screen.
Let's talk about Pinterest, Melissa.
Okay, so Pinterest. How is Pinterest important for your business? Why to use it and how to use it? So the first thing you're going to want to do is create a screen name. Pinterest is very particular about how many characters you can use, and a lot of your business names might be too long, and you're going to have to go with your own personal name and put your business name within the subject of the content that you're putting up there. Definitely, whether you're using your business name or your personal name for your Pinterest account, make sure that you put a really informative up here description up there so that people can find you, people know what you're about. When people find you, they can say, okay, I want to follow all of her boards, some of her boards, whatever. Okay, now Pinterest boards. What you see on the screen now is what you see on the screen when you use Pinterest with your computer. It is not what you see on the screen when you use Pinterest from your phone. And most people are using Pinterest from the phone. So the most important thing you can do is make sure that your first 2 Pinterest boards are the boards that people are following the most, repinning the most, and interacting with the most. Okay? So my first 2, I'm going to kind of give a little explanation of that. The first one is Cavalier King Charles Spaniels. If anybody knows me, my blog is 2 Little Cavaliers, so I am very heavily involved in the Cavalier community, and not the majority, but a large portion of my followers are Cavalier people, and so they like pictures of Cavaliers. That goes first. And then the second one is homemade dog treats. My homemade dog treats are how I get my traffic from Pinterest to my blog. Pinterest is my number 2 traffic producer. So it's definitely not something to overlook. It's definitely
We see you guys.
to put some time into. Not a lot of time, some time.
Keep the hearts coming.
Hey guys.
Your audience sees you. We just can't. Our comment feature is disabled.
Okay, so then how to use Pinterest? Well, the first thing to do would definitely be make sure that you get your own products up there. It should not be the only thing you're pinning. Pin your own stuff, and then go find maybe stuff from Whippin' Friends and create a Whippin' board. Or find cute pictures of dogs and have a dog board. But before you just repin something from a friend that you saw a cute picture, okay, I'm a dog treat company. Oh, here's a really cute Maltese. My cinnamon mini dog treats would be perfect for them. So say, love this picture of a Maltese. My cinnamon mini cookies would be perfect. What else can you put up there? Pinterest is about lifestyle, and whether your brand is very lifestyle focused or not very lifestyle focused, there's still a lifestyle aspect of it. So your dog bed company, go ahead and put up dream pictures of a house that you would love to have, or put up pictures of how to put the dog bed in an apartment. Small sizes, big sizes. Get interactive and share part of yourself. You can still leave the rest. You don't have to get too personal, but definitely share what you like, how you like it, all of that. Okay. Then I know that a lot of people, the most popular things on Pinterest generally have to do with cute pictures of dogs and cats, or really great, yummy recipe pictures. How do you use that as the next small business dog food company? Use it as an inspiration board. Okay, you see this great shrimp recipe. Okay, I can make that into a cat recipe. So you can put it in great inspiration for my next cat food, and make it your own. Just the one thing that I would say is definitely put your own information in the pin. Don't leave it blank. Never leave the pin blank. And make it your own. Put your own information. Figure out why you like it. Big no-no would be to go in and take out somebody else's URL and put in your own. Don't do that. Definitely don't do that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's.
We'll be around later if you have more questions about it. It goes back to the concept of social. Be social on all the properties that you're using, and by be social, it means if you're connected to me, share some of my stuff. You can even email me and say, I wonder if you'd be interested in this great new pin I put up, or any of the properties at all. I do that occasionally. I don't do it a lot, but occasionally. I will email key people and say, just wrote a post, just put something on Pinterest, just did a tweet, and wondered if you'd be interested in either sharing it or commenting, because you know what? We're all friends. And as long as you don't abuse that, I love it. It makes me feel important. and I hope when I send it to someone that they recognize that. So now, we're gonna go on to Instagram, and our friend Carol's coming back.
Okay, so my favorite platform. Anybody on Instagram by a show of hands? Oh, good. How many people like Instagram and find it addictive like I do? Okay, woohoo! Junkies like me. Okay, so my thing is how not to be a rock star. Because if you want to be a rock star, I'm going to tell you what not to do. And it might sound common sense, but some of these are, it's amazing. It's called Instagram, not Insta spam. So that's number one. Number two is there are do's and don'ts. So I'm going to give you a perfect, let's show you the right way. This is Prissy Pig. I don't know if any of you were at the BlogPaws conference this year, but Prissy Pig came. She's got close to 600,000 followers with her mini pet pigs. She dresses them up. They go to the beach, and she has a strategy for it. This is a labor-intensive, time-consuming platform. So if you don't have the time to devote to it, hire someone who does. A VA, a virtual assistant, someone in your company, just to devote to Instagram, because I easily could look up, and 2 hours are gone. You want to connect with people. If someone talks to you on your pictures, you need to tag them and talk to them back. You need to go follow them and then say something nice. It's very reciprocal. People easily get their feelings hurt. If you don't, they won't talk to you then. It's a very, content's king on blogs. Conversation is king on Instagram. That's what to remember. So, okay, a pig dressed as Elvis. Come on. That's right there. Okay, so the cute factor, she watermarked it. She put something creative. Poppleton decided to be the king of love on Valentine's Day. It's that kind of thing. Hashtags. You can do up to 30 as of this moment on any one hashtag, but you don't have to do 30. I actually do better when I put less, or I might put hashtag my dog thinks I'm nuts. There's no hashtag for that. Maybe there is. Really? Maybe I'll
have the funniest.
Yeah, you make them up and they do better. Yeah, and people appreciate that. Like if you show your sense of humor, if you're there just selling, you're probably not going to do really well unless you have a phenomenal product like Jennifer does back there with cuddle clones. So, and then they
have cuddle clones of themselves.
They have cuddle clones of themselves. Do they really? Okay. Emojis. I love emojis. I don't know how many of you guys use the emojis.
You know what those are?
The little pictures. They look like hearts and different cutesy little. Yeah. People talk in emojis. It's a part of Instagram. If you're not on there, when you go in your text keyboard, you'll be able to talk in symbols. The likes and the comments. As of this moment, when she had put that up, there were 22,000 in like 2 hours, because that kind of thing speaks for itself. So if you've got a brand, and do any of you own your own business, or small business owners, medium-sized business owners? Yeah. Put your products out there, but find your customer out there. So for myself, if I had a pet supply store, I would want to go find dog lovers. Particularly for my interest, I would find Cocker Spaniel parents. Go and find who's in Cocker Spaniels. Hashtag Cocker Spaniel. Insta-Cocker. And get to know them. Like I said, there's not a quick fix, and don't buy followers. Absolutely don't buy followers. Instagram will find you, catch up with you, and then I tried it. I spent $5 and I lost money. And they get rid of them. So, don't buy followers. That would be my don'ts. Some apps. Apps will please use the best, clearest, quality pictures. People are going to want to share it. And you can see the folks who do have a big following, they have really good-looking pictures. If, at the worst-case scenario, you take a crummy picture, at least put it through an app such as Aviary, A-V-I-A-R-Y. It's free, and it's a phone app that you can clean stuff up. Yes?
I have a question about
Sure.
that. 'Cause I have a dog training facility.
Okay.
A lot of people who are taking pictures on Instagram, they think it's acceptable to put half a human and the whole picture of the dog
Okay.
on the picture. I really oppose it, but I notice that the public seems to be okay with it. What is your feeling?
My input on doing something, you can't stop it. You can't stop it. And here's the catch. There was a guy that just, I don't know if you are following the news a few months ago in New York. He sold images that he took off Instagram and kept the watermarks in excess of $90,000 a print, and that he didn't own them. And he legally got away with it.
Well, he changed them. He actually
A
took
little.
them, and he could not have done that. So
Took them off.
we're talking copyright. He did not violate because they became
I don't know if you're going through a filter.
No, he actually did change them, and it became, I'm sorry, I forget the word it is, but because he took them and changed them and put them in a book and sold them, the people who created them had no reason. They sued him. One of the artists sued him, and the judge said, "I'm sorry, it's a work of art, so to speak. The fact that he took one of your pieces and changed it enough." And really, we're talking like 1 or 2%. He didn't change it a lot, but he changed it enough to make the copyright invalid and it became his. So just be aware of that. But to your point, I would agree that it should have the whole person. It's far more effective to see a whole person than half a person. But if the general public is accepting it, then you should continue doing what you feel is correct. You're not going to change their opinion.
I get
Then,
after my
right,
people
then
and
I
say,
would
I
say,
don't want you to post it.
I
with
would
a half person."
absolutely say that. I would agree with that. But I would also say to myself, if there's a photo or a person who does this routinely and they have 500,000 followers, maybe I would occasionally share some of those. Maybe not. That's a personal decision you have to make. I would hope that the people in this room would take pictures of pets and full people, so you could see them. But to your
With a lot of
point.
small dog pictures, you
Yeah.
can't see the whole
And-
person if you're close enough to see.
And it's in
them.
poor taste, but poor taste seems to be the
Well,
norm.
sometimes. I mean, we're pet people here, so we love to have our pictures with our pets. I'm not allowed on Instagram because I take lousy pictures, just ask her. But no, I have an Instagram account and I'm working on my photography. But in the end, yeah, that kind of thing should be, it's not something you can police, but yes.
And also share. You could share on Instagram. There are apps. There are Regram, Repost. These are apps that you could put down. And if any of you want to contact me afterwards, I have some really great information that we put up on BlogPaws that talks about Instagram. Biggest piece of advice I could give you, though, before I pass the baton, don't be on every social media network and think you can soar. This is to show you the popular ones, some of the popular ones. Pick your poison and then own it. Own it. Don't try to be everywhere at once. So,
That's a really good lead into this.
Really quickly, for our BlogPaws community that's watching us, I know that you all are having a little bit of a difficult time hearing. We're going to try to make that a little bit better for you guys, so lots of hearts for that one. And also, you can catch us on Catch Me afterwards, so if you miss some, we will be there.
You had a question?
Yeah, just a quick question. So I think that's probably, a lot of people are in the same position, that you have a small to medium-sized company, and you really do want to be everywhere. And if you speak to anybody, they say, are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram? And if there aren't that many of you, you guys know from our chat this morning, there's 2 of us. How do we maximize? Aside from having, our Facebook posts are set up to share, to post on Twitter as well. But I would love to do Pinterest. We have a Pinterest account. We just can't keep it up. We've just literally got an Instagram. But I'm really worried about the amount of time that it takes to do all of these things and do it well, and not, do it half-heartedly, and then still see the return on investment at the same time. So do you have any tips
And
for...
we haven't even gotten to blogging yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I just... No.
Carol,
Let's let Chloe do that. Yeah, absolutely.
See, we need a club.
This morning during our meeting that everyone needs a clone.
Yeah.
So we will be cloning her after the conference.
Club clones.
Available to the highest bidder.
Oh my gosh, that's me out.
You make a really good point, and I think that's something we hear a lot, is how do you manage all of this? You're on, what did you say, Facebook and Twitter?
Facebook mostly.
Facebook mostly.
Twitter, because I'm so scared of it and I don't really know how to use it, that the Facebook posts just go to Twitter.
Go to
and
Twitter.
I don't really get it, so I tend to do that. That's some of my,
So you're on Facebook, you pretend to be on Twitter.
pretend. And then we have just literally birthed a little account on Instagram. It probably has about 3 followers at the moment. I don't really know what I'm doing.
What you're doing, yes, yeah. Well, 2 things I'll say is when you decide to start an account and you want to be invested in it, get some guidance, whether you do it self-guided research on what you should be doing or leaning on somebody you may know here who knows a lot about Instagram, or just a friend or somebody. Learn a little bit before you just start going, well, let me try this and let me try that, and because you'll end up wasting a lot of time. And you're going to be a lot more effective at the channel you're picking if you go into it with a plan and an understanding of what you're trying to do. So definitely do a little bit of research. Spend a little bit of time up front to figure that out, whether it's Instagram or Pinterest or Periscope, which we're doing right now and going to talk about in a second. There's a lot of different channels. Like Carol said, don't try to do them all. If you're really good at one right now and you've got it under control and you feel like it's growing, doesn't mean this isn't about, oh, change it up and do something new and you're not doing enough. No, it's just, here's some tools to maybe do it better, make something different, reach a new audience. Don't try to do it all. And as far as time management, knowing exactly what you're going in to do helps. So a big mistake a lot of people make is they just get there and think, okay, now what? What should I do? And the decision sometimes takes the longest. And once you know exactly what you're there to do, you can just do it.
So if you're comfortable using what we're using now, which is kind of working for us in theory, it's better just to stick with that until you've got the time and the...
Yeah, don't take on too much, because then you'll just feel underwater, overwhelmed, and not being effective.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You have something to say?
Yeah, I just have one thing. I'm on many of these. This new Periscope thing is like, I don't know when or if I'll ever be able to do that. One of the key things I do is exactly what Chloe was saying, is I'm really good at Facebook, so I spend a lot of time there. I like Twitter. We have a lot of fun on Twitter, so I can do that. The rest of them I kind of dabble in a few minutes here and a few minutes there, and it isn't with the idea that it's going to get me followers or it's going to get me traffic. It's just so that I can dabble in it. And then at some point in time, I may decide that I'll spend more time on Instagram or I'll spend more time on Pinterest. But at least I'm kind of playing around with them and learning about them. So don't forget them completely, but you are the one in charge of your day and your time. And so 5 minutes or 10 minutes a week is enough to start learning about the different platforms, as long as you're spending the quality time on the one that is being effective for you now.
Awesome, thank you.
Know why you're going on that platform, though. Don't just do it because everybody's doing it. Have a reason for it. If you want to grow your Instagram, your Periscope, your Facebook, your Twitter, why? Is that where your people are?
So, the pig that was dressed up as Elvis, why?
She wants to work with brands, and she does. Brands
With
pay her
brands.
money.
Pet brands will pay her to talk about them and put
Yeah.
pictures on Instagram. So
She's a spokespig.
Who doesn't have a spokespig?
all right, let's move on to Periscope.
Periscope, we're doing it right now. Another thing with all these platforms is, what do you actually enjoy? So I like Periscope because I like talking.
No.
Shocker. I like that aspect of delivering a message through words. We're having this discussion earlier, because they're writers. Robbie, well, everyone here is kind of a writer, but that's probably my least. I don't enjoy writing. I find it difficult. I struggle with it. But if you put me in front of people and say, talk about this, you'll have to shut me up or move me on or something. So the word aspect for me comes easier. So I like something like Periscope. And what Periscope is, and mind you, it's brand new. So if you don't know what it is or you're not even on it yet, don't worry about it. It is a choice. If you're going to go there, you don't necessarily need to be periscoping. You could be a watcher. You can have an account and just use it to educate, which is a big part of what I've done so far. I got on it, got interested, and just started watching people periscoping about Periscope. Learning the tool, learning what was going on, learning how to do it better, and the tips, the tricks, all the things that I needed to know, so that when I start periscoping, this is where the investment of time goes in. I'm going to do it right, and I'm going to do it well. So I've done one so far, and I liked it, and it was a short one, and I plan to do a lot more based on my learnings. This is what it looks like. It's a phone app mostly. You can watch from your computer, but you can't engage. This is what the app looks like. It's both on iPhone and Android. That's the homepage. It tells you. So at the point when I took this, Mark Shaw, funny, I follow him a lot. He's actually somebody I've learned from, but he was periscoping live. So it tells me that. Here's the live ones. If nobody's there, it says no one you're following is live right now. Are you watching our Periscope? You're watching, guys. Perfect.
Hey, Amber. They brought you a five.
And by the way,
That's
I got to
awesome.
meet Mark Shaw.
Oh, you did?
Meet up in Tampa.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I knew that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, he's No, I'm echoing. So this is my home page. So like this is where you get to see, you put in your profile. You can see I've only done 2 broadcasts. The first one was literally me toying around. I filmed my dogs. I was like, this is Twiggy, this is Onyx, I'm going to make them run. And people do a lot of that. There'll be a lot of kind of frivolous, just fun stuff that you can watch. And there'll be a lot of serious educational stuff.
So who is the primary market that uses Periscope?
Right now, I would say almost anybody, but there's a huge movement at the moment for a lot of entrepreneurial type people. So yeah, so Ted Rubin has one, Derek Halpern has one, Michael Port has one. A lot of the big names are starting to use that. Kathleen.
Yeah, Chloe came to me a week or so ago, I don't know when it was, and said, I made a Periscope, and I'm like, what the heck is that? And so then I had to kind of learn what it was, and gee, isn't it nice? Chloe
Yeah.
can do that, I'm going back to the blog.
Yes. How does it compare to Hangouts? So it's simpler in the fact that we decided over lunch that we were going to Periscope, and all we had to do was come here, put in a title of what we were doing, and click live.
Reality TV.
It is like reality TV. So it's simpler. Mark Shaw, actually, something he said related to people who started Periscoping and are giving away all this information, because you can use it for all sorts of stuff. You can use it to talk about your expertise. You can use it to teach. You can use it to rant. You can use it to show your dogs running around and chasing each other. There's really a lot of purposes to Periscope, and the audience you'll find is there. No matter what avenue you're taking, there's an audience on Periscope looking for something like that. The first 10 days Periscope went live, which was back, I believe, in March, over 1 million people joined. It's huge. So I would say some of those people are just watchers. They're there because they want to see what other people are doing and tune in, like Jody. Alex Pettit, yes.
I love
Yeah.
him.
Great to learn about Periscope.
Yeah.
How to do it well. And
Yes.
what to avoid.
I find it to be a really fun learning tool because you can get in there. Yeah, Mark Shaw, one of the things he said is he uses Periscope and he thinks of it as one-to-many, and one-to-many is free in his world. One-to-one is on the meter, because he's English.
On the meter.
Yeah, on the meter. So you pay for one-to-one, but one-to-many is free because you can really get your topics, you can get who you are, your knowledge, your expertise out there in a way that you really couldn't before, because now not only is it really easy to start, just here's my title and hit live, it's really easy to share, it's really easy to market. From the minute it's done, I can go put it on Facebook, I can embed it, I can edit it. It makes things a little bit more simple. So it's not necessarily hugely different than Google Hangouts. There's a chat feature on it. People tap and give you hearts so that they can engage. There is no comment feature back when you're the Periscoping one. Yeah, so you have to just talk and then answer questions as they come up. So everybody who might be asking a question, I'm sorry that we're not answering them. Yes?
Can you shoot it and then edit it and then post it? Or is it
Yes.
always shooting?
It's always shooting, and catch.me. If you're going to be on Periscope, go get a catch.me account, KATCH.me. What that does is it becomes an archive of all your Periscopes, and that's the place where from there you can download it and edit it and then put it somewhere else. So you can also save them to your phone. You can put in the settings that you want them saved to your phone. So then you've got your MP4 file that you can do whatever you want with, repurpose it, add in slides, do different things, and upload it.
I want to talk about the hearts.
Yeah.
I think that we should challenge our community to get us a certain number of hearts right
I
about
know,
now.
hearts. So in Periscope, notice I only have 1,051 hearts. Those are the majority from my one main broadcast I did, not so much the dog one that I did because I wasn't really putting that out there. But as a user and you're watching, you just tap the screen and it's your way to say, yes, I totally get what you're saying. I love what you're saying. I believe each person watching can give up to 500 hearts per Periscope. So if you look at some of the big names that are on Periscope and do it all the time, they've got like hundreds of thousands of hearts. And that's just because people really like them.
You can come back in and do another 500.
Oh, you can? I didn't know that. Yes.
Well, are there analytics to where you, as the Periscoper, can then go back and go, look, right there when I was saying this, that's where everybody was hitting hearts.
So not easily, but the answer would be yes. So when you have it as the owner of it, if I go click on my broadcast, I can see how many people were there, what my retention rate was, how many people just came and left, how many people stayed, how many hearts I got from each person that was there. And then if you play it, you can see when the hearts come up. But you would have to kind of rewatch it. I don't think they have an analytics yet. I would think one would be coming. Yeah.
Okay, so I do a radio show.
Okay.
Animal-human connection. While I'm doing this radio show, could I also be periscoping it? And at the end of the radio show, I have an MP3 on that. I have the periscope, and then can I then take that and put that on YouTube?
Yep. You can.
So actually,
Yeah.
really quickly, one of our viewers, Vegas Dog Rock, she has her own radio show, and her last radio show was, am I correct, Sam, in saying that it was live on Periscope?
Live on Periscope radio show,
Vegas
Sam?
Rock Dog.
Yeah, Vegas Rock
Not sure if
Dogs.
she's still there.
Right.
Okay.
But yes, absolutely. Yep. You had another one? A quick one?
Other
Hey.
questions, we'll have to wait.
All right. Are we getting to the end?
We'll answer your questions. We have to get into the blogging
Oh, yes.
part
This
of
goes to
things,
Robbie.
because Robbie and I would like people to continue blogging,
doing so well.
please.
So yes, the way the graphic is set up, in my mind, the blog is the most important thing you can do on social media.
Hallelujah.
Your blog will feed everything else that you do. So let me ask, first of all, does everybody have a blog? All right, how many people don't have a blog? Let's go that way. Okay, so you need to have a blog. Getting a blog will, seriously, it will feed everything. You can have a blog and then take your blog post and recite it on Periscope. You can repurpose it on YouTube. It goes on Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, anything, any other social media platforms that you have, your blog can feed out into that. That's a good place to get newsletter content. So in my mind, the blog feeds everything. So I am a journalist, so when I'm working with clients, when they need to know why do I need a blog, just because Robbie says I need a blog is not a good enough reason for most people. I don't understand that, but that's the way they are. So when you're thinking of, do I need a blog for my business, you really need to have a strategy. You need to know the who, what, when, where, and why. We don't have where up there at this point.
Because where's online?
Where's online, yeah. Or your where could be the different blogging platform, whether it's WordPress, TypePad, Blogger. So what you need to figure out first is who are you writing for?
And it's not you.
Right.
Just to let you know.
You have to know who your ideal client is and how you're reaching them and why are they coming to you. People come to the BlogPaws site because they want to know what Carol and I share about social media, how to do the various platforms, how to write a blog post. I do a lot of how-tos on writing blog posts and editorial calendars. We do a lot of content on there. Yvonne does a lot of lifestyle content. We curate a lot of content on BlogPaws. We get a lot of stuff from Felissa because people love her recipes. So we know that the people that are coming to BlogPaws, the who we are writing for, are pet lovers, pet owners, pet lifestyle people, and the mommy bloggers, which I know they don't like to be called mommy bloggers, but lifestyle. Okay, so I did say lifestyle. I had it in there. So once you figure out who you're writing for, then you can kind of figure out what do you want to write about. If I know that on BlogPaws, this month our theme is senior pets, so we have our editorial calendar set up with every month we know what we're going to write about. Carol and I go out and look on various sites to see what kind of holidays are coming. There could be, if there's a women business owner month, which I think is in May, Small Business Owners Month, then we will blog topics about that. First of all, it gets us on trending topics. Second of all, we know that that's something our audience likes, and it gives us something to write about. When do you write? We believe you should be blogging 5 to 7 times a week.
He doesn't let us sleep.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be written, it could be a video.
Mm-hmm. It could be the Wordless Wednesdays.
Yeah, Wordless Wednesday is an image, or a caption. It could be a reference to an article with one sentence about why are you sharing the darn article. So don't get all like, oh my God, I can't do that. Yes, you can.
And for SEO, doesn't that help them as business owners to have, just for SEO?
The blog?
terms? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to know, and that's kind of the why do you write. I was getting there. So when do you write is the how frequently do you want to write? If you decide and you tell your audience, I'm going to be blogging every Monday, then stick with every Monday. Because maybe that's all you can do is the one day a week. But if they're expecting it on Monday, then blog on Monday. On the BlogPaws site, people know that I blog Monday and Thursday. They know that Carol blogs Tuesday and Wednesday. Yvonne blogs on Friday, so we get people that come back on those days. Yes?
I was wondering, do you, like as a practice, do you maybe make your blogs ahead of time and schedule them to go out
Yep.
on that time?
Yep.
Absolutely.
So that's what we have our editorial calendar for. So I can tell at a glance who's writing what and when, and then I can go look in our site and in the calendar in the back and make sure that those posts are there. So, and yeah, I mean, if you have time and you can sit down and batch write several posts and do them and, put them in the schedule. And then the why do you write? I believe blogging is going to grow your business. You want to use the correct search terms. You want to know how people are going to find you. Are they going to find you as a dog groomer? Are they going to find you as a pet psychic? Are you the best pet walker in Florida? Whatever keywords you think your people are searching for you, then that's the keyword you want to try and write into a blog post. You never want to do a blog post that is so keyword heavy that it's unreadable, because then you don't get any Google love and nobody's going to read it if they're not learning something. If I was doing a blog post about being the best dog groomer in Florida, I would give you tips on how to keep your dog clean and fresh between visits, or what I do as a dog groomer when your dog is there, or how to get your pet not afraid of the dog groomer. So I'm getting those search terms of dog groomer in there, but that's not all that you're reading. I'm giving you valuable information. And the where, like we talked about earlier, it's where you host your blog. It's where you share the information that you're writing on your blog. It's the way that you're sharing it, because you don't want to just use your social media platforms to say, hey, I wrote a blog post. Some of the stuff that Carol shared about Facebook, I was trying to get that out fast, was when she makes the graphics, she will sometimes make graphics of the blog posts that we've written. And she'll give you a sentence or two in there, and then the link takes you back to the post. So you're not getting all of that information on a Facebook post, you're just giving one tip and then driving them back. So you're giving them valuable information, but not bombarding them with an entire blog post, because I've seen that on Facebook, and that's painful. And that was my strategy.
I find one thing is that one of the coolest things that you could have happen, I had a woman on my blog, my dog blew both of his ACLs, his ligament in his leg, and so I decided to write about it. I took him through the 2-year journey. I had a veterinarian send a reader to me, and she said, my vet told me the best source to read about this was your blog. And because it was not my opinion, it was literally where we had been. I found the best surgeon and what we had gone through. We got a custom brace for him. Show the video, show your business in video. What Robbie said is spot on. You got to have a why. Show people behind the scenes. I love that sort of thing. Everybody likes to go behind the green curtain.
And as much as I'm all about the words and the writing, and I'm real good at 1,000-word blog posts, images, nice images, please. The web is a visual medium. So we need to move on. We're going to be over. The power of social. Ms. DeVita's going to talk about ROI and ROE.
I'm going to go through this quick and say if anybody has more questions about it, find me, because I can probably give you better advice one-on-one. And it will be on the Meta. Just kidding. But I just like saying that, sorry. Return on investment and return on engagement. Those are two things you should be thinking about and looking at. When you talk about how to even measure that with everything we just went over, first of all, it's based on your goals. What are you tracking? Sometimes you are going to track a click-through. How many people actually clicked through and read or bought or did whatever? Sometimes it's just going to be engagement. You just want to see how many people liked, commented, shared. It depends on your platform, and it depends really on your purpose. So you have to know your goal. You have to know what your plan is to get there in order to truly measure your results. If you don't have those first two things, you're measuring mud. There's nothing there. It's just, so remember to also measure what you can, track what you can. There's certain things you just can't track. Let it go and focus on what you can. Caught up in things that are just out of your control, you're not doing anybody any good. Go on, we won't even do that. Go to the next slide.
Oh, I like that. No, we're going to read that. Every single comment, photo, video, or post takes a few seconds for a user to digest. It is estimated that the average like on Facebook takes 7 seconds per person, while close friends of this person will take an average of 5 seconds to digest that like. Just
timing for how much
saying.
people, how long it takes people to like, right? It's not just you're asking for their time.
so basically, this is just more of the same.
Yeah, how to measure. So you need to think about time, the tools, the spend, all the different things have to go in. Don't forget about your time. Time is money. There's value to your time. If something takes you an hour, there's a value there, and it's kind of up to you to determine what that is, but just don't forget time. Obviously spend, tools, whatever you're using to do it, and there's a lot of ways to allocate, either by campaign, by project, by share. There's a lot of ways you can do that, so I'd be happy to help anybody figure that out and talk through what that means, but
There's a link there for a little tutorial.
click it right now.
So the takeaways are basically is to understand the channel you're using, know your purpose or goal, and measure your results, measure what you can. Again, you cannot be all things to all people. So you must know your audience. You must know who you're trying to reach on social and why. And then you can move on to, well, how do I measure my results? And that's a lot. So we are here to help. If you have more questions, we have a few minutes now to take some questions, and then we'll be here for the rest of the conference.
How would you put newsletters into this conglomerate of social media?
Who wants to answer that?
I can take that.
All right.
You want to take it?
I'll take some of it. You need to know why you want to have a newsletter. Are you sharing information that's different than anything they can find on your website right now, whether it's a blog post? Are you looking to sell a product, start a coaching business? So understand the reason why, but then also know that don't start a newsletter just to send me something to let me know that you've got a new product to sell. You want to give people good information. I believe they should be short, like just do some really quick, short sentences, link them back to your site.
That's what BlogPaws does.
Build a page, Build a page on your site that just houses your newsletter articles so that you can drive the traffic back there. And the people that are getting your newsletter are just getting a couple hundred words, not just pages and pages of text.
So you would use the newsletter to link to a blog then?
You can either link to a blog or you can build a separate page on your website that just houses your newsletter articles. So when they click through, they would just go to that post, but it would be new information. Chloe, did you have anything else to say?
Not so much. I was pretty much going to say it would be an extension of the content that you're already purposing somewhere or independently. So like she kind of mentioned, if you've got something really special and you want people opening a newsletter, if you let that be known that the only place they're going to get this coupon or that is by opening the newsletter, then keep it there to drive more open rates. But make sure the content that you're creating, wherever it is, can somewhat be aggregated, but never make your newsletter completely duplicative of everything else.
Lauren, there was another.
I have another question that a couple of you have alluded to. I'm pretty active on my blog, and I had always aimed for 500 words, and then someone told me, oh, no, if you don't have 1,000, it's not even, Google won't even read it. What's your word count?
All right, in the early days of blogging, and I go back to 2004, the average blog post was between 300 and 500 because short attention spans, oh my God, nobody's going to hang around any longer than that. Well, hogwash. It is now, in my opinion, your blog post needs to be as long as your blog post needs to be. If you're routinely only writing 300 words, maybe that's going to affect you in Google. But like other writing, articles, magazines, whatever it is, when you take a journalism course, you will learn. It has to be as long as it has to be. Now, that doesn't mean rambling. It's one of the things I learned in school that was the most effective thing for me is when the professor would have us write a story or an article, bring it in, then take it home and cut it in half. Do not lose the meaning. So then you come back a week later and he'd say, now take it and cut it in half again. That does not mean that you should only write that 100 words. It just means you have to teach yourself to make sure your message isn't a ramble and go on and on. Like Mark Twain. If I'd had more time, I would have wrote a shorter letter. So you should write what you need to. I would not hesitate to write long posts. The advice I'm going to give you is write the post, click save, do not publish it, go back the next day, reread it and edit it. It can either be longer or shorter. But that overnight gives you new eyeballs when you go back and look at it. So I wouldn't worry about word count too much.
I have two questions. Does blogging make constant contact redundant? It's a paid service. Do you think they can play off of one another?
Yeah, like we said, Constant Contact being a newsletter tool, and the blog being more of a magazine tool, so to speak. So you're taking articles out of your magazine to share somewhere else.
And on my particular website, and I don't know if other people do this, we have a lot of change on the website. Does blogging have a higher ranking for search engines in terms of changing content and bringing those search engines to you, or just any change? Change of pictures, change of content, change of titles. Does that rank equally, or is blogging higher or lower?
Want me to hold it?
Let's take that.
Okay. So the question was, how do I get Google to see me more, rank me higher at the top, but in a more native way without paying them to do it? Definitely the more content you are producing, meaning the more pages you produce, the more new things that you have on your blog. Every time you publish a blog post, it goes directly to Google, and Google says, oh, look, there's a new blog post here. This site is still really important, and I should continue to index it at the top and continue to visit every single day and see what's new. So it's definitely, if you're just changing an image from a page that's static, it's not going to be the same as if you're adding an entire new page or blog post.
If your blog is part of your website, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Is one part of the website
More popular.
Yeah, does one rank higher than the other in search engines? Is the blog like the thing, or can it be any change of content?
Like, you mean like on the About Us page?
Yeah, or something
some
like
other
that.
page versus /blog.
It's going to take a longer time for Google to realize that you made changes to the About page in order for it to re-index, unless you go and specifically tell Google to re-index the page for you. The information that you put in a blog post will help Google to continually come and definitely rank you higher than somebody that just has a static page that remains the same year after year and maybe gets a new picture or some new information. Google's going to rank you higher.
So in the end, think of Google as your audience, so to speak. And Google doesn't really care a whit about you, actually. They only care about me. So I'm out there searching, and they're saying, I have to give Yvonne exactly what she wants. Well, if you want them to give me your site, it darn well better be what I want. So they don't care about you. They sure care about me. I'm the one clicking on them ads in the sidebar. Not really, I never do that. But in the end, the content you're producing is aimed at your audience. And if your audience loves it and they're searching for it, then Google's going to say, oh my God, I've got to give them Arizona Dog Sports because she just wrote a brand new post about this. Right? If her post is 2 weeks old and yours is brand new, what's Google going to do? I'm going to see you ahead of you. Yours may still be there, but she's going to come up first. Just saying. That's Google. Anything else? Ooh, cool. Well, we're here for the whole conference, so anything we can do to help, let us know.
Hey everybody, so there were a lot of questions that we obviously couldn't answer live while we were here, but we will, if you leave some questions in the Facebook group, we will definitely attempt to answer them all. The reason why you only see women in the room is because this is the Women in the Pet Industry Conference, and while there are some men that are around and trying to get in, it's mostly women here. So lots of taps for the ladies in the pet industry. Really great content going on. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.